Imagine you're scrolling through YouTube after school. One thumbnail catches your eye. How I made $10,000 in 1 week. Another says, become rich before you're 18. Then another promises, this one side hustle will make you financially free. Within minutes, your entire screen is filled with people showing luxury cars, expensive watches, stacks of cash, and lives that seem almost perfect. At first, it feels inspiring. You start thinking, maybe they're right. Maybe everyone else has figured out the secret, except me. But here's the question almost nobody asks. Why are so many of these videos aimed at teenagers? Why aren't they targeting experienced investors, business owners, or people who have spent decades studying money? Why do they keep showing up in the feeds of people who are only 13, 15, or 17 years old? The answer has very little to do with helping you build wealth and almost everything to do with how your brain works. Because behind the flashy thumbnails, the rented sports cars, the screenshots of huge bank accounts, and the promises of overnight success, there's a business model, one that's been repeated over and over again for years. Every day, millions of teenagers open social media looking for advice about money, success, or their future. Many of them genuinely want to improve their lives. They aren't lazy. They aren't foolish. They're simply searching for a better path than the one they've been shown. And that's exactly what makes them the perfect audience for people selling shortcuts. The truth is, most get-rich-quick creators aren't selling wealth. They're selling hope. Hope that your life can change overnight. Hope that there's a hidden shortcut nobody else knows. Hope that success doesn't require years of patience, learning, or consistent effort. Because hope sells, especially when you're young, especially when everyone around you seems to be getting ahead, especially when social media makes it look like you're already falling behind. But history tells a very different story. The people who build lasting wealth almost never do it overnight, and the people promising overnight success are often making far more money from selling the dream than from actually living it. If fake money videos were only about expensive cars and flashy lifestyles, they wouldn't be nearly as successful as they are. The real reason they work has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with psychology. Every time you see someone claiming they became rich overnight, your brain pays attention. Not because you're greedy, but because your brain is naturally wired to notice rewards. Psychologists call this the dopamine reward system. Dopamine isn't simply the chemical that makes you feel happy. Its real job is to make you chase what might make you happy. That's why one thumbnail can instantly make you wonder, what if this actually works? What if this changes my life? Even before you click the video, your brain has already started imagining the reward. And that's exactly what these creators understand. Notice how they rarely begin by teaching a useful skill. Instead, they begin by selling a dream. A luxury car, a designer watch, a private jet, a huge bank account, because the dream captures your attention long before logic has a chance to ask questions. For teenagers, this effect becomes even stronger. Your brain is still developing. The part responsible for patience, planning, and long-term decisions is still maturing, but the part that responds to excitement, rewards, and novelty is incredibly active. That doesn't mean teenagers are less intelligent. It simply means they're more likely to be attracted to opportunities that promise fast results. Now combine that with social media. Every swipe shows another teenager claiming they've made thousands of dollars, another influencer living a luxury lifestyle, another success story that looks effortless. After seeing enough of these videos, you stop asking, is this realistic? And you start asking, why isn't this happening to me? That's exactly where the trap begins. And in the next part, we'll uncover how many so-called financial gurus actually make their money.
So, if many of these creators didn't become wealthy from the methods they're teaching, then where does the money actually come from? The answer is surprisingly simple. For many of them, you are the business. Think about it. Imagine someone claims they've discovered a secret method that earns millions of dollars every year. If that method truly worked exactly as advertised, why would they spend hours every day recording videos, editing thumbnails, posting on social media, and convincing strangers to buy a course? Wouldn't they simply keep using the method that supposedly made them rich? That's a question most people never stop to ask because they're too busy looking at the lifestyle being displayed. Luxury apartments, sports cars, designer clothes, first-class flights, private offices. It creates the impression that the creator has already made it, but appearances can be carefully manufactured.
Many expensive cars can be rented by the hour. Luxury homes can be rented for a single day. Professional studios can be designed to look like successful offices. Even screenshots of income can be edited in just a few minutes. The goal isn't always to prove success. The goal is to look successful enough that people stop asking questions. Once that trust is created, the real business begins. Some sell online courses, others sell private communities with monthly memberships. Some earn commissions through affiliate links. Others promote apps or platforms because they're paid for every new customer. None of these business models are automatically bad. The problem begins when marketing depends on unrealistic promises instead of honest education. Instead of teaching patience, they sell excitement. Instead of explaining risks, they only show rewards. Because excitement sells much faster than discipline. And that's why millions of teenagers confuse entertainment with financial education. But once you understand this business model, you'll start noticing warning signs that most people completely miss. That's exactly what we'll uncover in the next part.
So, how can you tell the difference between someone who genuinely wants to teach you and someone who's simply trying to sell you a dream? The truth is, the most convincing scams rarely look like scams. They look professional, they sound confident, and they know exactly what people want to hear. But if you slow down and pay attention, the warning signs become surprisingly obvious. The first red flag is guaranteed success. Whenever someone says, "You'll definitely become rich," "Anyone can make thousands of dollars," or "This works every single time," take a step back. Because in the real world, no honest investor, no successful entrepreneur, and no financial expert can guarantee wealth. Markets change. Businesses fail. Mistakes happen. Anyone promising certainty in an uncertain world is usually selling confidence, not truth. The second red flag is urgency. Buy now. Only a few spots left. Don't miss this opportunity. These messages aren't designed to help you think. They're designed to stop you from thinking. Another warning sign is when someone spends more time showing luxury than explaining knowledge. Real experts usually teach. Fake experts usually impress. Another common trick is showing only success stories. You'll hear about the student who made thousands of dollars, but you'll never hear about the hundreds who failed. That's called survivorship bias. You're only shown the winners. The failures quietly disappear. Then there are the screenshots, bank balances, trading profits, luxury vacations. Today, almost all of these can be edited, borrowed, or rented. A picture is no longer proof. Smart people don't ask, "Does this look successful?" They ask, "Can these claims actually be verified?" Perhaps the biggest red flag of all is when someone tells you building wealth is easy, because every genuine success story requires time, learning, discipline, failure, and patience. Not magic, not secret formulas, not overnight success. So if shortcuts aren't the answer, what should teenagers actually focus on instead? That's exactly what we'll discover in the final part. So if shortcuts don't build lasting wealth, what actually does? The answer isn't exciting, but it works. Real wealth is built through small decisions repeated consistently over time. Start by learning valuable skills. Skills that solve real problems, whether it's video editing, programming, design, writing, or sales. The more value you can create, the more opportunities you'll have in the future. Next, learn to save before you spend, even if it's only a small amount each month. That habit is far more important than the amount itself. Then, when you're old enough and it's legally possible, Learn how investing actually works, not gambling, not chasing trends, but patiently owning great businesses for the long term. Most millionaires didn't become wealthy because they found a secret. They became wealthy because they stayed consistent while everyone else kept looking for shortcuts. That's the difference. Success usually looks boring while it's happening, but years later, the results speak for themselves. So, the next time someone promises you'll become rich overnight, ask yourself one simple question. If it were really that easy, why would they be selling the secret instead of quietly using it? That single question can save you years of wasted time, bad decisions, and expensive mistakes. Remember, your greatest financial advantage isn't having more money than everyone else. It's learning the right lessons earlier than everyone else. Because the habits you build as a teenager can shape the rest of your financial future. If this video changed the way you think about money, consider subscribing to Guide by Shaikh. Every week, you'll learn practical financial lessons designed to help teenagers make smarter decisions with money, avoid costly mistakes, and build real wealth over time. If you know someone who's constantly falling for get-rich-quick videos, share this video with them. It might save them from believing a very expensive lie. Thanks for watching. And remember, the people who become wealthy aren't usually the ones chasing the fastest path. They're the ones who keep moving forward long after everyone else has given up. I'll see you in the next video.